Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and in today's tutorial we are going to be making this cute palm-sized heart for Valentine's Day. It's a 3D heart and it would be great for adding to your amigurumi or just decorations for the holidays over Valentine's Day. So let's get into it. So for this project, I'm just going to be using this dusty rose type pink just for the heart. You're only going to need one color. Of course, you can use multiple if you'd like to change colors within the heart, but I'm just going to stick to one for simplicity's sake. I'm also going to need my 5.5mm crochet hook. I'll need some scissors, a darning needle, a stitch marker, and some fiber fill. So once we have gathered all of our supplies, we can get started on our project. Okay, so to begin, we are going to start off with the top pieces of our heart, and we're going to make two of them. So first I'm going to start off with my magic ring. And inside our magic ring, I'm going to make 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Just pull that. And that is our first round. Now I'm just going to take my stitch marker, and if you know me, you know I like to use a strand of yarn over a clip, but you use whatever works for you. And then we're going to move on to round 2. Okay, so for round 2, we're going to do an increase round. So an increase stitch is 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So we're going to go into this first stitch and we're going to place 2 single crochets. So there's 1, and then right back in we'll place another for 2. We're going to do that all the way around. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Just like that. Then moving on to round 3, we're going to do single crochet 12. So 1 single crochet in each stitch around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And there is the top piece of our heart. So I'm just going to remove my stitch marker here, and I'm just going to place a slip stitch into this very next stitch. And I'm going to cut my yarn here. You don't need a very long tail for this one. And I'm just going to pull that through and tighten it to create a little knot there. So now we're going to go back and we're going to create one more of these, but just don't tie off and cut your yarn like we did with this first one. Just get to the last stitch of round 3 and then we'll meet back here for the next step. Okay, so I just completed the second piece. So here's the first piece, and this is the second top piece, and I still have it attached to my hook, and this is the end of round 3. So what we're going to do next is in this second piece, we're going to single crochet 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So halfway through our piece. Now we're going to take our first piece that we made, and we want to go into the stitch that we slip stitched into to end our round, which is just right here for myself. Now sometimes the dexterity can be hard for this one, But what we're going to do is I'm going to, from my 6th stitch on my second top piece, I'm going to insert my hook into the first top piece, into that stitch, like I said, that we slip stitched into. I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to make a single crochet. And that just joined our 2 sides. Now I'm going to continue to work all the way around this first round that we just crocheted into. So I just did 1. Now we should have 11 left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Next, what we're going to do is we can see here that this is the 6th stitch here that we left. That was the last one we put in. So now we're going to go back right into the stitch right after that stitch, and we're going to place a single crochet there. So now you should have 2 connectors between the heart sides. And now we're just going to continue and complete this last little bit of the round here. So we did 6 on the beginning. We just did 1, which is 7. So that means we should have 5 left to complete. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So at the end of this round, which we're going to call round 4, because we did 3 rounds for each of the top pieces, we should have 24 stitches around. Now, moving on to round 5, we're going to do the combination single crochet 4 and a decrease stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. And I like to do invisible decreases with my stitches, especially for amigurumi, because I find that the spaces between the stitches aren't as noticeable when you're decreasing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the front loop only of the next stitch. And then into the very next stitch, we're going to grab that front loop as well. So you should have your initial loop and 2 loops. You're going to yarn over and pull through. You should have 2 on your hook. Yarn over and pull through. So you just turned 2 stitches into 1. Now we're going to repeat that combination of single crochet 4 and decrease a total of 4 times. Making sure you're not missing any of those stitches from when we connected the 2. So 3 and 4 and a decrease. So the front loops of each. And we'll keep doing that 2 more times. 2, 3, and 4, and a decrease. And then we're going to do it 1 more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. And there is what we're looking like so far, and that is round 5 completed. And you should have a total of 20 stitches at the end of round 5. All right, so moving on to round 6, we're going to do a round of single crochets. So single crochet 20 from the previous round. 2, 3, All right, and moving on to round 7, we're going to do the combination single crochet 3 and a decrease. So 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. We'll repeat that 4 times. 2, 3, decrease. 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, decrease. Once more. 1, 2, 3, decrease. And that is round 7, and you should have 16 stitches at the end of round 7. So moving on to round 8, we're going to do single crochet 16. So 1 single crochet in each stitch around. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So that's what we're looking like so far. Now for round 9, we're going to do the combination single crochet 2 and decrease. 1, 2, and decrease. And we'll repeat that 4 times again. 2 and decrease. And you should have 12 stitches at the end of round 9. Decrease. And then we'll do one more. 1, 2, and decrease. So now before we go any further, what I'm going to do is I want to close up this hole that you can see here right between where we connected the top pieces of our heart. So I'm just going to take my darning needle and I'm going to take the strand that is from the first top piece that we made, the end of that. I'm going to use that to sew together this middle piece of our heart. It shouldn't take too many stitches, just to secure that closed. You can also do this after you've stuffed, whatever you find is going to be easiest for you. And then I'm just going to place a little knot here as well. And I'm just going to push that down to the body. This yarn falls apart so easily, especially this ball for some reason is shedding like crazy. I'm just going to stick that yarn tail into the center. And that's kind of what we're looking like with that sewn closed. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to stuff. So I'm just going to take my stuffing and I'm just going to stuff. Now you could stuff if you prefer when there's only 16 stitches left. I usually stuff at the very last minute because I don't like crocheting with the stuffing in. I find it makes crocheting a lot harder. Once the stitches are a little bit spread and more tight, they're harder to crochet into. So just make sure both of the tips of your heart are stuffed. You don't want to overstuff. So just do what you feel looks the best. And then once that is stuffed, we're going to move on to round 10, which is just a single crochet round of single crochet 12. So 1, 2, see, I find it so much harder to crochet when there's stuffing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we're going to do our last round, round 11, which is going to be the combination single crochet and decrease. And we're going to repeat that 4 times, single crochet, decrease, and your stitch count should be 8 at the end of round 11. One more single crochet, decrease, just like that. I'm just going to remove my stitch marker and I'm going to place a slip stitch into the very next stitch there. And I'm just going to cut my yarn end. It doesn't need to be long again because we're not sewing anything on with this. It's a great no-sew pattern, except for sewing together the top. It's a completely no-sew pattern. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of stuffing into the bottom area here that I haven't stuffed yet before I close it up. Just like that. And then what I like to do is I just like to grab a hook that's a little bit smaller. So this is a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. And I'm just going to go under the front loop of each stitch around this last round of 8. I'm going to pull my yarn tail through. And you only want to go in the front loop, not both, because again, going into just the front loop, you're going to make it so that there's not big spaces at the end of your work here. And then you're just going to pull. It's going to close up that hole there. And then I just like to grab, now this yarn is quickly falling apart on me. I usually like to just create a little knot here. There we go. I'll just weave that in. This yarn is not great today. I chose the wrong yarn, I think. For some reason, this ball of yarn is unhappy. And there is our completed crochet heart. I hope you guys really enjoyed this pattern. It's super quick, really easy to work up, and a really fun little decor piece if you're really into Valentine's Day and you want to gift something. I think this is a really nice gift. Let us know in the comments down below how you guys like this, and I hope you guys have a lovely Valentine's Day, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!